Well, good morning, good evening, afternoon, whatever it may be, where you're at, my friends. Today, this episode of the Golden Age of Boxing is featuring one of the greatest fights of all time, showcasing arguably one of the most brutally powerful boxers versus one of the fastest and most skilled boxers of all time. The fight is forever known as the Rumble in the Jungle, pitting the champion, a big George Foreman, versus the upstart and brash Muhammad Ali in 8 rounds of heavyweight greatness, a true David versus Goliath. This fight was held in 1974 in Zaire, Africa, hence the name Rumble in the Jungle. Now, George Foreman was formerly Sonny Liston's sparring partner, and he inherited Sonny's intimidating ways, his stare, and his ability to intimidate people. Though George was even bigger than Sonny, and George had nightmarish power that could just murk someone in one punch. And Foreman's first title match was against the legendary Smoking Joe Frazier, who was undefeated just off the win against Ali. Now, a 3-1 favorite over George Foreman, Joe Frazier tried to go head-to-head, but was obliterated by the big George Foreman. And the ease he handled Joe Frazier, knocking him down 6 times, was uncanny. After this, he was considered invincible. He also had handled Ken Norton Jr., whom Ali struggled with in 2 bouts. Foreman had devastating power, scorching opponents and just murking them up to the 3rd round. And he did have speed, and he did also have some intelligence. He grew up in Houston's 5th Ward, and he was the king of the street fighters in that area. And he started training. He was 17. With natural fighting and punching power beyond belief, though brand new, he was breezing through the Golden Gloves, and he eventually won the gold medal in the Olympics. Now, Foreman's earth-shattering power was coupled with a long-arm defense and a very well use of grappling in the square circle. He also used hand traps to break his opponent's guard and stride. He was destroying his sparring partners and always had a chip on his shoulder, demanding respect from spectators and media alike. His first 40 fights saw 92% in the KO percentage, which meant I think 37 of 40 fights was KOs. But he had the ability to murk someone in one punch. Like I said, a monster was he. He knocked opponents into the afterlife. He was portrayed as a monster, a scourge of the heavyweight division. And then, out of nowhere, comes the 33-year-old, some thought washed up Muhammad Ali, calling out Foreman, brash, loud, and not at all scared of Foreman, so it seemed. And with Ali, if it seemed, it usually was so. And with Ali's loss to Frazier and its use with Norton Jr., no one gave Ali a chance in hell in beating this heavyweight monster in Foreman. Foreman had haymakers that came like hate from old times, looking like he would literally kill his opponent in the ring. Foreman, even after beating Frazier and Norton, felt the media still disrespected him. And he had thought, well, if I kill one of these fellas in the ring, I bet they'll shut the hell up. And this was Foreman's mindset before being antagonized by Muhammad Ali.
Be at the theater early because this man, I'm going to retire him. If you think I whoop Sonny Liston, you wait till I get George Foreman. He talks too much. He's ugly. He's pretending. I'm the true champion, and they make me the underdog. I'm going to show them all they're wrong because I'm the champion. I'm the real champion. There'll never be one like me. And all of you people in Britain who rank me as the greatest, I'm going to prove I'm the greatest. I'm going to prove to you I'm the greatest. We're going to prove to the world I'm the greatest. This is my last fight. I don't want none of you to miss it. So please come to the theaters. I'm going to eat some raw meat, and I'm going to train. I'm going to get ready and chop some more trees.
The next fight was Ali Foreman. The fans wanted it, media wanted it, and Boxing Commission mandated it. Everyone was scared of Foreman. Trainers, media, fans, but not Ali. Many considered Ali crazy as a loon, but at the night of the fight, as Ali headed to the ring, a fight that had been rescheduled due to a Foreman injury, but on this night, as Ali headed toward the ring, the fans were shouting, Ali Komaye, which means Ali killing. Ali was of the people and for the people. Now, Howard Cosell said he figured Foreman would end Ali's career. He gave no chance in hell that Ali would even win. It would even be a competition. The fight discussion was not who would win, but how much punishment Foreman would give to Ali. But for those that did not know, Ali did everything in those days with a purpose and intent. He had a reason. Maybe Ali is the only one who knows that reason, but his mind worked in mysterious ways and very well against his opponents. But though Cosell still commented that Ali was washed up, it was Ali versus a monster. The fight was at 4 a.m. in the morning, and it was still sweltering hot in the ring as they both made their way to the ring. Now, as they stand in the ring at the face-off, George Foreman was giving Ali that stare, that demonic stare that scared opponents before they even started to fight. But Ali was looking at Foreman and commented, "Oh shoot, George, you was in school when I was beating Sonny Liston." And then they broke, going to their respective corners. The first round started with Foreman throwing bombs, bodying Ali up to the ropes, Ali dancing around. The only perceived weakness of Foreman was maybe his stamina, not usually seen later rounds in a fight. As a matter of fact, not ever going past the third round usually. The question was, could Ali survive Foreman's power to the later rounds? The bell sounded to end round one, and in Ali's corner, they were getting on to him, telling him to do something different. He's being hammered on. Ali said, "Shut up, I know what I'm doing." And at this time, Ali was trying to come up with some way to handle George Foreman's power. Now, the second and third rounds, Ali leaned on the ropes a little bit, but was dancing around. He was grappling the grappler, pushing Foreman around somewhat, and Foreman started catching him in the body. And all the while Foreman was throwing these harder and harder punches, Ali was dancing, trying to come up with a way to survive. He had felt Foreman's power and knew why Norton and Joe Frazier both did not make it long. But Ali was smart. Ali was fast, and he used his speed and his head movement to keep him in this fight. And eventually, by the end of the third round, he had Foreman breathing hard. Foreman was going into uncharted territory. Ali had made it to the third round. Now it's to see how far George could go. In the third round, Ali, mainly using his superior speed and head movement to keep Foreman guessing, he kept moving and moving around the ring, breaking Foreman's stride and countering his punches. The announcers seemed they could not figure out what Ali was doing. All of them except one, the guest announcer and Smoking Joe Frazier. I believe he knew what Ali was doing. I think he's seen it. And if anyone would have known, it would have been Joe Frazier. As the third round commenced, Ali started landing punches between Foreman's haymakers. Ali even pulled Foreman in, whispering in Foreman's ear, not knowing what he said, but I'm sure it was something to rile Foreman up. But Foreman was throwing haymakers and just piling the body shots up on Ali. Everybody thought Ali would crumble at any time. But these were the rounds Foreman was fading slowly in, slowly but surely. No one knew how strong Ali was. His will and determination was second to none, and Ali was in rare form on this night. Now, round four saw a lot of the same, except for one thing. George Foreman noticed out in the crowd that one of his oldest friends was cheering for Ali. He never named his friend, but it was in his head the whole fourth round, and you could tell in his change in the way he was boxing. And he made it through the 4th round, but he was in his own head. And Ali was starting to get in his head also, because Ali had finally figured out what to do. He finally had developed his final form of what is forever known as his rope-a-dope. Round 6 saw Ali open up with his rope-a-dope, going straight to the ropes, leaning against him and letting Foreman punch himself out. And as Foreman was punching left and right, Ali would parry and counter, staying inside of Foreman, being really quick with his punches. Pop, 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 pop. And he would use his speed and his head movement to keep from being hit with Foreman's power. Though Foreman was still able to get to Ali's body, and everybody was amazed that Ali had not crumbled at this point. All through the 6th round this happened, until the round ended with the sound of the bell. Ali was using his rope-a-dope to finish off George Foreman, if it was possible. Now, as he hit his corner, he turned and winked at Joe Frazier. The announcers were amazed. They couldn't believe it. They thought Muhammad Ali was on his last. And then he came to his ring and winked at Joe Frazier. They started to believe in Muhammad Ali, whose rope-a-dope was starting to get the best of this man monster, George Foreman. And just to remind our younger crowd here, our younger audience, this was not the George Foreman of the George Foreman Grill. This was his younger, more brutal, devastating persona. The one that did not care, that would kill someone in the ring. It was insane, the body shots Muhammad Ali had absorbed through 7 and up to the 7th round. No normal man could have survived that much punishment to the body. But Ali was anything but normal. Now, round 7 started, and Foreman was throwing everything he had at Ali. He was landing shots on Ali, shots that in earlier rounds would have really been devastating, but Foreman was starting to fade, and his power was fading with him. And he still, though, thought he had Ali on the ropes in the 7th, until Ali said to Foreman, "Is that all you got, George? Is that all you got?" At this moment, Foreman became very afraid. He felt like he was in a nightmare. He realized Ali was getting the best of him. It was the 8th round, and it's time for the Bee to show his stinger. With menacing punches, straights, jabs, just stinging, stinging, stinging. Then, all of a sudden, Ali cross-framed with a looping right, sending Foreman into the ropes. Now Foreman was trapped on the ropes. Then Ali lifted Foreman's chin with a devastating left hook, then replacing that with the most devastating straight right hand he had ever thrown, thus stumbling big George Foreman, who began to fall in what seemed to be slow motion. All the while, Ali followed him in a circle with a cocked and locked right hand until Foreman kissed the canvas. Ali never throwing that right, but had it cocked. The heavyweight juggernaut in George Foreman was down, and he was not able to get up before the 10 count. And yet again, Ali had shocked the world, doing what most thought was impossible, beating the once thought unbeatable George Foreman. Unfortunately, for many years, Foreman thought he had lost due to some treachery in his corner with his men, but he eventually came to terms with the loss to Ali. And 20 years later, Big George Foreman, then a preacher, would re-enter the heavyweight division and shock the world by becoming the heavyweight champion once again in his 40s and exercising the ghost of Ali. But that is a story for another time, my friends. And this is Big Duke 6 with his golden age of boxing. This was the Rumble in the Jungle.